and seen. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me today here at Flipping the Page. And I know I've been dropping the consistency ball as of late, but we're gonna fix that today. We're gonna catch on up. I'm gonna talk to you guys about my Q2. Q1 was a bit of a slump, to say the least. It was a little bit slow, a little bit dragging myself through the trenches. But Q2, we're already hitting the ground running. We are still trudging along on our way towards publishing a book this very year, 2025. Just making sure that I do things not the correct way, because there is no one correct way to publish your book, but just the right way for me. So stay tuned for our little catch-up sesh. This is probably going to be pretty quick because like I said, I'm actually getting the ball rolling, so I have so many other things to get done today. So stick around and hear more about that. First things first, if you guys are intrigued by the slump that was my Q1, feel free to check out this video here, or wherever I'm gonna put her, so we can get into all of the things that have been coming down on me in Q1. Not even all the things, because I wasn't even fully transparent. There's so many other things that happened that I didn't even talk about, that I'm not going to talk about for a while. I do plan to talk about it, but just not right now, not while I'm still climbing out of the trenches. But when I'm up the hill, out of the trenches, up the hill, then we're gonna reminisce on the trenches. But if you're interested in hearing just a little smidgen about that, then go ahead and check out that video, and you can see the obstacles, to say the least, that have been in my way for the beginning of 2025. Moving on to Q2, my birthday month, April, my golden year of life up and coming. I'll be 29 on the 29th. There's been a lot of energy moving forward, a lot of excitement that was there towards the beginning of this project, and again hit the obstacles of Q1, and it just sort of dwindled a bit. It dwindled, but I'm here back with the excitement, because nothing's going to keep me from accomplishing this dream of mine, this 20-year dream in the making. It's going to happen. So we're moving on and starting with my month of life. I actually had so many fun plans to do for my 29th birthday. Of course, not only is it my golden year of life, but it is the last year of my 20s. And of course, next year is a big year too. I'm gonna be 30. So I really wanted to do something fun and, I don't know, just have a new experience. I don't typically do anything crazy for my birthday. I'm not one of those super crazy birthday kind of people, but if you put me in front of some good food with some good company and, you know, a little drink, then I'm gonna be fine. But I did want to do something different this year. But with everything that's been going on, I honestly just don't even have the bandwidth anymore to make something happen, which at first I was down about. But in relation to this writing journey, there is so much that I have planned to accomplish between my 29th birthday and my 30th. And I thought maybe that's what this was for. Maybe I'm not supposed to be having a grand old time right now. I guess it's hard to explain, because I am having a great time in terms of finally living in something that was put on my heart so long ago, finally taking concrete steps towards that thing. So I guess that's a grand old time in and of itself, but it's not the time to be focusing on the fun right now, frankly. It's just not time, not if I want to get all of these things done before next year. And honestly, it is a lot more important to me that I'm a published author, that I have my name on books, multiple, before my birthday, on books by the time I'm 30. Just, I don't know, because I have it in my mind where I don't want to drag a ball and chain into a new decade of life. And not that writing has been a ball and chain, but me not manifesting that dream, me not making it happen, that has been the ball and chain. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want my 20s, I want the last year of my 20s to be the final year that I'm pushing to make that happen. So that way when 30 hits, I'm there already. I'm writing, I'm living in it, and I'm not actively trying to make it happen because it's here. I'm waking up and I'm a published author. Just so you guys can get an idea of what I'm referencing with all the things I'm trying to accomplish, I'm gonna stick a screenshot somewhere in here of a task managing software that I have been using. It's Asana, and it's the free version right now. I'm still in my trial period because I literally just started using it. So I don't know what features may or may not disappear when that trial period ends. But anyway, this is what I'm using right now. And because I was losing track of all the things that I had to do, or I keep saying had, and like these big situations. I didn't have to do anything. Technically, I don't have to do a lot of the stuff on here, but things that I want to do because I'm a part of a lot of different writing groups on social media, and just taking so much advice from other authors and established people who may have said, oh, I wish I did this in my early days and started out this way. So I'm just heeding what they've been saying and trying to implement that into my own journey. So these are the things I plan to do for my Q2 in order to gear up for my release month, which right now is, I'm thinking October. But again, as I often remind you guys, I don't know what I'm doing. So I don't know if that is a reasonable time period, considering I am still writing the book right now and I don't plan to finish until May, finish with the writing and editing and everything. I don't know. But also then again, because I'm a part of so many writing groups, I see so many people do utilize so many different methods, and some of them can pump them out month to month. So maybe it's not unreasonable, but maybe it is because this is my debut novel. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. But as of right now, the release month I'm thinking is October. So these are the things that I have planned to do in Q2 to gear up for that Q4 release. Yeah, Q4. Also in relation to that, so I didn't plot everything out. So even though Q1 was a bit rough, to say the least, I actually ended up writing a novella towards the end of Q1. It was a kind of like a random thing. I didn't plan it out at all. This wasn't originally a part of my publishing journey, but I do plan on launching my website next month, either May or June, depending on how long it takes me to set everything up. But because again, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm not really like, I'm rushing to get something done. I'm rushing to hit my dream this year, but also I have some time to figure it out. So yeah, I plan on launching my website in May or June. And in order to do that, I saw a tip from so many authors in those groups, and they offer something for free so people can join their newsletters. And I was like, well, what could I have to offer for free right now? I don't even have book one. So I ended up taking a step back from book one, and then I wrote a standalone prequel. It is about my male main character's life before the contents of the series. But nobody has to, you don't have to read that in order to understand the series. It's going to be offered for free. It's about less than 20,000 words. So that's my dog. It's less than 20,000 words. So it's very quick, but hits home on a lot of points. So it'll make it easier to understand his character once book one comes out. But so I ended up writing a whole novella, and I have this really bad habit of not giving myself credit for things that I did that were not a part of a list. I don't know why a list makes a difference for me, but because the prequel was not originally on my list of things to do, I didn't register. I didn't think to congratulate myself. Hey, you finished an entire project for the first time in your life. You sent a complete project off to your friends, to my beta readers, for the first time. That's a huge milestone. That's a huge checkpoint, because before that, I would just hoard all my things. I didn't want people to see anything that I had created. And you got past that hump. You did this thing. You finished a project. You gave it out and received it back. I actually just got it back. So I'm going to look at those edits this weekend, but you know, pat on the back, pat on the shoulders, congratulate yourself. So I am also trying to get past that mindset, because that is definitely an obstacle, I think, especially right now when I don't know what I'm doing. So I am kind of throwing stuff in there as I learn about it, and I need to learn to give myself credit for those things instead of just the hard facts written on paper. With that screenshot that you guys saw, there are some things that I have not added on there that I'm still working on and still adding to it, but formatting the prequel formatting the novella is one of them, because it will be a reader magnet on my website that will launch in May or June. So the ball has, like I said, she's been rolling. It's no longer a concept. It's no longer just living in my imagination and jotting down what I see in my mind's eye on my computer or in my notes or anything like that. It's a thing. The ball is rolling. I also want to pause here and take a moment to acknowledge the mental anguish that I was going through when I submitted my work to my beta readers for the first time. It was not an easy task for me. It was definitely easier than it would have been in the past, because in the past I was pretty neurotic about it, and I was like, I can't have a single person lay an eyeball on any of my work. And I realized how counterproductive that would be for somebody who wants to be a published author. So it was definitely not as difficult as that, because I was working myself up to it once this drive really hit me, and I knew that I was going to make this happen no matter what. So I worked on it, but it was still a lot to get me through actually doing that. I sent my friends an essay's worth of text, just letting them know, hey, I just sent you this documentation, which I use Scrivener, so I just compiled the files and sent it to Google Docs, so that way they can have access to it. Whatever, I don't know what I'm doing, so don't listen to what I'm doing and then follow what I'm doing, because I don't know what I'm doing. Follow the experts on here. But I did that, sent them a whole message, and I was like, this is what it looks like, this is how many words it is, this is my intent behind this story, this is what I wanted to accomplish, and you just let me know if that's actually what comes off. And I had to force myself to take a step back and allow them to do what they were honestly super excited to do, because these are the people who have been hearing about these dreams of mine for years now, but have never actually read anything from me. So they have been mega excited to get something from me for so many years now, and they're avid readers and people who are able to string together some sentences themselves, so somebody I could trust with the grammar and English and that aspect of things, along with the overall developmental, does this make sense, is this the message that's coming across. Having to turn the other cheek, I guess, and force myself to then focus on a new project instead of sitting there obsessing over, did they read this yet, what are their thoughts on this, all these random things, because I am an overthinker. I have covered that in a few videos so far. I am an overthinker. But to force myself off that train and to not focus on it and just let them do what they wanted to do for me, that was an accomplishment by itself as well. And then, so as I have also stated in previous videos, I am a crier. I'm a sensitive crier, I'm an angry crier, I'm in all the criers, I'm a crier. And I got one of my edits back pretty quickly, actually. Like I said, it's less than 20,000 words, so it's not like a full long read or anything like that, but I can't even, but I cried like a baby with the kind of support that I was given. Because again, I've never actually let anybody read any of my work at this point, so I had this thought, what if I'm not even any good? What if I'm horrific at something I've wanted to do for the last 20 years? Like, that didn't cross my mind for those 20 years, because it was always like it was a concept. I knew I wanted to be a writer. I knew this is what I wanted to do. That's why I became an archaeologist. Indirectly, it's a whole story. But what if I actually am horrific at this and can't do it? That didn't cross my mind until I gave my work to somebody else to then judge and critique and make the edits. And I was like, what if I've wasted all of this time and all of this energy and all these thoughts on something that I'm absolutely poo at? And don't get me wrong, I accounted for the fact that book 20 is going to be so much better than book 1. Anything I write in the future is automatically going to be better than book 1. But I was thinking, I don't know, just the worst of the worst. What if it's so bad it's unreadable for book 1? So it's unfathomable to publish something this year when I'm like that bad. I was going there because, again, I'm an overthinker, so that's where my mind was going. To have an avid reader, an honest person, a very anal person, my best friend is quite anal, to have somebody who makes such a good beta reader by herself without her relationship to me come back and say such wonderful, supportive, amazing things to me and encouraging things, to say that she thought it was good. She didn't even have to say anything else for her to say that she liked it. because I know her taste in books. We have pretty similar tastes. She is also a romanticy girly, but she can go all across the genres, all the different whatever there are out there. She will read it all. Fellow magnet school kids and all that as well. So if you were also a magnet school kid, you know the annotations and whatnot that are drilled into your head. So you also have that analytical side of things. To have somebody like that just say that she liked it, let alone all the other stuff that I said, that did something to my mind. Maybe that's where this energy is coming from now that I think about it. Maybe that's why I'm still alive for Q2, because Q2 started out with positive feedback for the first time from somebody outside of my head. Maybe that's where this is coming from. So anyway, all of that happened just this week. So I'm still reeling a little bit from it, but for the first time in this journey, I know I can do it. I knew I could logically do the steps, if that makes sense. I knew I could plan these things out, and I knew I could figure out marketing eventually and all these things, because I'm determined. I have a drive. I'm gonna get this done. But I didn't know that I could actually make my dreams come true. I don't know how to put it. I don't know. It was just the reassurance that I didn't even know I needed until I had sent my work off to somebody else to read. And as we all know, you are your own worst critic. So because I didn't have anybody else feeding any other kind of messages into me, like, all I had was my own thoughts of like, yeah, this sounds pretty to me, but also, will this make sense to anybody else? Like, are you even able to? I had that. I only had one perspective for the last 20 years, outside of like things I may have written for like school, like, you know, writing assignments or anything like that. Outside of that, because I always did phenomenal with those, which I don't know why that didn't register to me, that would count for anything towards my author career either. I don't know why that didn't carry over. But in terms of like my own little passion projects and those sorts of stories, I just didn't have that other perspective of whether or not I was actually any good. So anyway, Q2 starting off on a high. So for book 1, I am doing about 7 chapters a week to hit my goal, which I think I'm doing more of like a mix between writing and editing at the same time. I'll write something and then maybe the next day go back and read it, and then slightly edit what I wrote and then continue on. I am trying to do that because since I am in a time crunch, a self-imposed time crunch, I am aware, but I'm trying to not prolong this process in any aspect that it doesn't need to be. There's so much else that I have to account for when I send my work off to a professional, when I get a cover design, like all these things that are outside of my control where other people are going to need more time with it. So I am trying to account for those things and rushing myself a bit for that. But I am doing that. And in addition to working on book 1, like I said, I'm going to be launching my website. So I'm going to start working on that, or start putting that together within the next few weeks, build my own website. And I did take some cute little pictures with my mother in a park because I'm not able to do professional photos right now. But I was like, I'm going to need an about me author picture somewhere, and my mother loves taking little creepy stalker photos of me all the time. So I was like, can we just go do this? I wanted to go in a library. She felt creative and wanted to go to a park. So either way, I have a couple of cute little pictures I can put on there, thinking ahead for this website. Like I said, I've made the reader magnet, so that will be formatted, ready to go by then. So I have the tools that I need. I think I have majority of the tools. I'm still figuring out a lot of the foundation. I know which company I want to go through to build my website, or which software. I'm still figuring out the integrations, what I need to fully make the entire thing work in terms of the newsletter and actually delivering the reader magnet and those sorts of things. So I am still figuring that out. But yeah, either way, I'm gathering the tools as I'm also writing this book. Because as you guys know, indie publishing is an entire business. It's not just writing the book and handing it off for somebody else to handle all your things. It's a whole business. And I think that I am just doing both at the same time, at the same rate, at the same frequency right now. And maybe that's, in some ways, it's overwhelming and I'm doing entirely too much and I want to take some stuff off my plate. But then on the other hand, I think I work best under pressure. If I feel like if I have too much time on my hands, I don't accomplish as much as I could have if I was drowning. So maybe I'm just creating an environment that I need in order to succeed. I also started doing this thing this week where I'm treating writing like a job because I want it to be my job. So I'm treating it like a job. So I get about an hour or two of writing done during the day where I am just focusing on book one. But then I've also noticed I'm a nocturnal person. This whole diurnal way of living has only been forced on me from adulting and people generally needing you to function during the day. But naturally, I am a nocturnal human being and I get creative. I feel inspired at night always. I've always been that way since I was a child. But I started doing this thing this week where I am writing still during the day to stay on track and everything, but I also will pull up Google Docs on my phone when I'm laying in my bed at night and let the inspiration flow. And so I've been doing 2 chapters a day just this week, and I'm enjoying the streak. I would love for it to continue. And what's been making it interesting is that I'm in Act 1 during the day. I'm still working on Act 1, but then at night, I'm in towards the end of Act 2, beginning of Act 3, which is, you know, it's a lot of fantastic things going on. A lot of, that's where the spice is going down. So that has been helping me because it kind of feels like I'm writing 2 different things. So I don't feel stifled. I don't feel cornered into doing one thing this entire time. So I don't get bored with it or burn out. So when my juices are really flowing, that's when I'm laying there and just putting all my thoughts on paper, not worrying about grammar or wording or anything, just getting it out and then adding it to Scrivener the next day, adding it into my Scrivener file the next day. So that has been a wonderful discovery, and I hope that continues to happen because it's wildly productive. And with that in mind, I've heard so many people say if you're writing something that you're bored with, then you're seen as the problem, or ignore my dog, you're seen as the problem, or your writing's a problem, whatever. But realistically, not every part of your book is going to be exciting. I think that was a disconnect for me because for the longest I was following that advice and I'm like, well, I need to switch it up. I need to make it more exciting because I'm bored with this. Not everything is going to be exciting. It's not going to be explosions or spice or anything like that every single chapter, at least not for my book. And I feel like majority of the books that I love to read, I love a good plot, and for there to be plot, there's got to be like some, I don't know, I feel like there has to be some regular days in there. If it's a journey happening, which there's a journey happening in my book, there are going to be days where they're traveling and the most exciting thing that's happening is that they're going at it with the banter and because they hate each other. So it took me a while to get past that, and I feel like with this little spring that's been happening this week, it's been nice to get through those less exciting times during the day, but still be able to write the spicy stuff at night and tricking myself into being more productive, I guess, taking advantage of my natural creative cycles, I guess. I feel like I've been rambling throughout this entire video, but that should display my excitement happening right now after the shite storm of Q1 to get somewhat to the other side. At least mentally, I'm on the other side. It's been wonderful. It's been great. It's been fantastic. I'm super excited. What else has been happening? Oh, I also went to my first writers conference back in March. I'm going to include some little clips from that. That was also a wonderful experience. I'm not gonna lie, I was like talking myself out of going that entire week leading up to it, but I had already paid my money for the registration back in October, and I was like, you're gonna go, you're not gonna waste your money. But I'm an introvert, I'm shy, I'm reserved. Once you get to know me, once we become friends, I'm psychotic, but very much so introverted in real life, like to other people. So I just was not liking the idea of being in a room filled with strangers and having to network. The idea of networking sounds like my 8th circle of hell, but understanding that's just how things have to be, and it's a necessary part of many journeys, including this author one. So I was like, you're gonna put on your big girl panties and you're gonna go network, or at least you're gonna attend and sit there and soak up some knowledge. And that I did. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I went. I met some wonderful people, had a fantastic time. I got a lot of tips from established authors that I haven't come across necessarily on YouTube or social media or anything like that yet. So that was great. And I feel like it just gave me a taste of what it's going to be like to fully live as a published author and just be, that will be my reality. So I gotta start acting like it. I can't just dip out on things because it makes me uncomfortable. So that was also a wonderful experience. I know this is a total 180 from my last video. I feel like I wasn't too down in that one, but enough of a 180. But that's how fast life will hit y'all. Things will change in an instant, in the blink of an eye. So I'm just super excited, and I can't wait to talk about this more with you guys. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and join this little corner, this little pocket of AuthorTube over here to hear more about my journey as it comes. I promise to figure out this consistency thing. Right now I'm in writing mode, and I really need to get the actual writing done. So it's not that I am shucking off my responsibilities because I'm not a social media person, even though that is true. I'm just really focusing on the actual meat of this work, which is writing the story. And especially once I get closer to releasing and everything, I'm sure I'll be more consistent then, because I won't actually be writing every day. Because even when I'm not working on book 1, it's book 2, book 3, book 4. Also want to throw out there that I do plan on launching my very first Kickstarter, and right now I'm thinking August, but again, dates can move because I don't know what I'm doing and I'm a debut author. But right now I'm thinking August, so you can follow that link down below in my description if you want to be notified when I launch that campaign. We are growing. I believe it's about 16 followers right now. We are growing, so go ahead and click to be notified when that launches as well, because that'll be my first release, my first little taste of releasing a novel into this world. But thank you guys so much for joining me today and catching up with me and learning about the other side of the year. Q1 being the shite storm and Q2 being better shite storm. Still a storm of shite, but interesting shite. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you tune in for my next video as well to see what's going on when I flip that page and we read together what's going on in my life.